Okay, so here for part 2, we are actually looking for specific examples of these points of view. So we want to find private fears in the cremation of Sam McGee, right? The inside view. So it can't just be times where you see I, me, my, we, like you could in the last one for first person. What it needs to be now is when you see it, is it showing that he is afraid or that he is scared? Okay. And then secondly, public actions. So the outside view. So here are moments where we see things that Sam does. All right. So, or the narrator is essentially thinking that Sam does. So when you come here, all right, what I found is most of the things in pink, and it'll explain to you too if you click on it. Like, it gives you the meaning. It's what I love about Actively Learn. Like, if it's highlighted, it'll help you. So please use that. But anyways, most of the things I think I found in pink, like, oh, here's my, and then when you click on it, like, Sam isn't afraid of death, but he is afraid of being buried in the freezing cold ground. As opposed to, right, I really looked at this stanza here. All right. And I found that with this stanza, it spoke to me the most with the third person, but you've got to make sure that it's showing you Sam's actions. All right. So, like, Sam McGee was from Tennessee where the cotton blooms and blows. Is that showing me anything about Sam? Right. So just make sure that what you are finding is showing me something about him, like this right here. He was always cold, but the land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell. Great simile here, right? We're comparing the land of gold to holding him like a spell. But what we're seeing here is, if you click on it, the land of gold, or the Yukon Territory, began to fill with gold miners in the 1870s and 1880s. So if it's holding him like a spell is something that you can't be broken, right? I mean, it can, but you know what I mean. So it's holding him. He can't break free of his desire to be in this land of gold. So what is it saying about his character? To me, it says that he's very greedy, right? Because he can't. Some people find gold and they can not succumb to its power. He is unable to do that. So that's the type of thing that I'm looking for. I've just given you 2 that you should use for sure. Okay, so that's for this one. Now for our second one here. All right, Chenson and the Admiral, we're going to sort evidence from that short story, scan the story for the Admiral's actions and Chenson's observations of him. So here we have the Admiral's actions. So anything that the Admiral does in the story that shows you his character. And when we see that, now this one's a lot trickier. It took me some time to find them, mainly because the story is much longer. I couldn't find clues that necessarily stood out to me. Sorry if this is choppy, but because this one's more challenging, I went and I actually found all the paragraphs for each section here. But what I'm going to need from you is, when you go to that, you're going to tell me about it. You're not going to just do direct evidence. You just copy and paste. I found it for you. So what I want you to do instead is kind of just tell me, what do you think is happening? So these ones are going to be very similar. They're just going to be in your words. These ones are a lot more figurative. So you're going to just tell me kind of like what you think that figurative language means, right? Like, he looked like an immovable rock. So what does that mean, right? So when we come here, for example, for 38 here, the man frowns, then booms, summon the commanders and get 2 horsemen. Everyone else prepare to launch at dawn. So it's not really anything legendary that he did. He just is doing his job, right? He is doing his job as a leader and commanding his men. Simple, right? And so for this next one, 49, right, that's more figurative. So if we come to 49, my jaw drops. I can't imagine a fisherman leading an assault, and I'm equally baffled that he's so calm about it. So he's caused his jaw to drop, right? So he's in awe, he's in shock, he's stunned. And despite that, though, his uncle is confident in the fact that he can do things. So what I would put is something like, he creates awe and confidence in everyone around him. Something like that, okay? So then moving down here into the synthesize section here, because these two sections go hand in hand. All right. So you're going to look at each one separately and then each one together. So first consider what the point of view helps you understand, and then consider what it keeps you from understanding. So what that means, right, is with first person point of view, you get so much from the inside of what the character is thinking, but you don't know what everyone else is thinking. And the same thing with third person limited. Like we know what we know what the character is doing, we know what the character is saying, we know do we know what the character is thinking, right? We don't have that. We don't have what the character is thinking and feeling directly, right? So because the narrator uses first person point of view, the reader is able to see that while he acts blank on the outside, his inner thoughts are actually filled with what? Okay, so that was really loud. I'm sorry for that. I don't know why that popped up in the middle of this. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do for each one of these, okay? And then see me for video 3 on the vocabulary, because this one ran way longer than I initially wanted it to, but we have to do what we have to do with it. All right, thank you guys for watching. See me in part 3. And if you have any questions for any of this, just let me know, okay? Because this is to me the hardest section of the assignment. All right, bye everyone. See you in part 3.